looking forward to the next season that's coming out in the next few weeks. My first question goes to you because Lil Murder is a very intriguing character, and I find myself sympathizing with him. Did you find yourself doing the same thing when it came to developing for this current season that's coming out?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely find myself sympathizing with Lil Murder and any of my brothers and anyone, in the LGBTQ plus spectrum who is struggling with their identity and wanting to be who they want to be, but having a stigma or having a community who doesn't quite allow that because of the different fears. We had mentioned earlier, going out and just can't be yourself amongst certain men because they might, hurt you or harm you or just, so you sympathize for him and you root for him. And I think from the page to the screen, I've been rooting for Lil Murder. And I think I know that I appreciate everyone else who does and that story's been able to touch. So I'm glad you've been able to sympathize with them. And I hope people continue to do that and open their perspective to who this gentleman is and how important he is to our community and why we should respect and treat him just like we treat anyone else.
Awesome. And Shannon, I saw your dog there. Quite cute dog.
I named her after Mississippi, actually. But yeah, she's a wild one. So you'll see her bounce around all over the place.
Well, for the second season, what we're going to see from Keyshawn for this season, Shannon?
What we see from Keyshawn? Everything. There's so much we cover this season. You see a bit of like a bunch of her backstory, which is really, really going to be a treat for the fans. You see what she's like at home. And this is the first time that I've shot in Keyshawn's and Derek's house. So you see toys everywhere, and just her in her element just as a mom and a girlfriend, and you get to see her on tour with Lil Murda and Wody and her manager from Blue Guap Entertainment. You get to see her face on all these lines of products that she's got this product deal that's out, and you see so much, and it's going to take you on a ride for sure.
Thank you. My next question for the both of you, how did the both of you mentally prepare for this next season, especially since from the trailers that came out, it seems like it's going to be a much more darker season than the first one?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, similar to how I prepared for any other role, just being entrenched into the script, jumping into it as soon as I can, but then eventually kind of putting it away and allowing the work to do what it does and just being prepared for the day. And then trusting your creator, trusting your directors, trusting your castmates. There's a lot of trust we have to put into our intimacy coordinators, into our fight coordinators, grips, everyone. So you just have to have a level of trust and understand that we're all working towards a very particular goal and that we're going to get that goal accomplished. And then mentally, just having time for yourself, making sure that you go home, you talk to your loved ones, you shake it off. For me, it's just having that time to meditate and be in my space. I'm a cannabis connoisseur. I'm an advocate in that space and understanding the medicinal properties that come with that. So, having something for yourself to make sure you can pull away from the work, but at the same time, giving your all every day and making sure that you're telling the story that needs to be told. You have to be prepared and have the endurance for that.
Yeah.
How about you, Shannon?
I agree with everything he said. Right. Not much to add there. No, but really, I do agree. In preparation for this season, because I'm so familiar now, I've played her for a while now. There is familiarity there. So now we're just adding on to what I already know about Keyshawn. I'm getting a lot more information from Katori, like with the writing this season of where Keyshawn comes from. There were things about her that I didn't know she was brought up a certain way. I think the audience is going to be very surprised at Keyshawn's upbringing. I thought she had grown up completely differently. You read the script and you dive in, and you do your best work and you let it go, and you trust that, that you got it.
Thank you so much for both of your time today. I'm looking forward to this next season in the next few weeks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Hi, good, thank you.
I'm doing quite good, and we're here to talk about the second season of P-Valley. Now, I would like to first know what kind of direction we're going to head to with both of your characters heading into this season.
Well, for my character, at least last season, we saw that Haley now owns the Pynk, so it's a very different person that you're seeing this season. Last season, she was kind of hiding who she was, and now we get to see who Haley Colton actually really is. So it's a difference, but it's finally something that we can give to the audience and say, hey, this is who this lady actually is.
Oh yeah, and for Andre, I'd echo that. I guess you get a deeper understanding of where he came from and why he is the way he is, and his ideas for the future for himself, but also his city, his beloved city of Chucalissa.
Mm.
Awesome. I would like to know, because I've also watched the first season, I realized how much of the flashy costumes that come on with the characters. So who have designed all those costumes for the both of you?
Well, last season and this season, we had the amazing Rita and Alita. These ladies, it was so nice to have them the first season. A lot of it was done in-house. So they were, doing sketches and putting together the outfits for the dancers and some of the big bold outfits for the lead characters as well. So that kind of came into second season, and the costume department that we have on the show is incredible. They work so hard, every fine detail. And then of course Katori at the very top end of it has such an idea of what she wants these characters to look like, down to the smallest rhinestone. So there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I guess you probably haven't seen these episodes that I'm talking about yet, but in the latter half of this season, Andre gets to get some pretty cool clothing. And yeah, from the top down, I think it was Katori that sort of guided that idea. But it looks great on camera. It really makes things pop and very interesting.
Yeah, it really does make it all pop, because a lot of times where you're in the inbound scenes where it's all dark areas, the costumes really, really pop out. So I've had to give a high praise for that. And my next question for the both of you, what would be the overarching theme for this season would be, if you could say so?
I'm just going to say, look, this season just really digs deep. There's we live in the world of COVID in the real world and in Chucalissa. We have COVID at the Pynk, and so we are digging really, really, really deep into the characters, into their worlds. We're seeing them outside of the club, which is where we saw majority of them last season. So it's a bit of a different world for the show, but it's all a part of who these characters are and how they deal with this situation.
Yeah. I suppose I'd say we're exploring, I don't know, humanity, but like the duality of like what it is to be human, right? Especially in America, where you're from a certain area, you have limited opportunities, but there's a better life, and there's a better way. For every left, there's a right. For every darkness, there's light. For every domestic violence, there's domestic bliss. For every economic hardship, there's financial success. And we see these characters knowing that. And almost everybody is on this journey that they are fighting for. So it's really interesting to see people believe in a dream and go after it, despite whatever's going on.
The American dream, as they say.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for your time today. I had a great time speaking with the both of you.
Thanks, Julian.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Hey, Brandy, and hey, Nico. Nice to meet the both of you. Happy to talk about this P-Valley.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, my first question for the both of you, how excited were the both of you once the news came out that the second season was getting picked up?
Oh, I cried. Very, very excited to continue telling the stories. It left off with a lot of questions that the world, as well as us actors, wanted answers to. So it was beautiful to know that we get to continue down this journey of growing together, learning, and telling these stories.
Yeah, we found out about the whole being picked up for season 2 pretty early on in the airing of season 1, but due to the regular business of how you make TV, on top of that, coupled with the pandemic, there's a lot that goes into this, so there was that anticipation that had been building up, like, oh, we're ready to get together and get back to dance rehearsals. We ready to get together and get back into what's the set's going to look like, what we're going to do, let's get our costumes together. Like, there was a lot of anticipation. So I think that aided in the whole momentum that's behind season 2, because it hits you and it hits you hard and you be ready to go.
Yes, and that also segues into my next question, because season 2, I have a feeling it's going to answer a lot of questions from that cliffhanger we got from season 1. And I would like to know what will be the direction for both of your characters heading into season 2.
You are correct. It's going to answer a lot of questions, but like Nico says, a lot as well. It's going to give you more questions. I feel like I got a lot answered as Mercedes, but now I have a list of things like, well, what about this? What's happening next? So a beautiful journey. I didn't know how Katori could top season 1. And honestly, I love season 2 so much that I could never see season 1 again. Not because it wasn't good, but because it is elevated so much more. It's just beautifully written, beautifully shot. Even more so, every department has elevated. So I'm very excited. You're going to have a roller coaster ride, tears, trauma, drama, happiness, all of it. You're going to feel every emotion.
That's right. And that's how we all survived 2021, 22, and being here, through some tears, through some laughs, laughing at the absurd, crying through the drama, healing through it all, and pressing forward. So.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to it, because this is going to be out in a few more weeks on, I believe, June 2nd. And I want to see everything.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. June 3rd. But my final question for the both of you, any episodes that you two been proud of this for the second season that you've been on?
What's your favorite one, Nika?
My favorite episode of season 2, I'm going to I have so many right now. The first thing that came to my mind was 9 and 5. And 5. I just love the fact that there is no lead on this show. There are no small characters. And the fact that you get to have a full-on meal with all of these characters is just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I agree. If I have to choose one, 7. 9 melts my heart for sure.
9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's going.
Taking it way back to Sesame Street days.
Yes, I'm saying it's like all of them. It's all of them.
Thank you so much for your time today on Nico and Brandy. Had a great time speaking with you today.
Thank you so much, Julian.
You're welcome.